Good evening, Buckeye Nation. This is the OHIO Podcast Monday Night Call-In Show, and I am your host, the Wildman, Chris Wilds. Before we get started, let's go ahead and pay some bills. So we are proud to be the official podcast of Scarlet and Game and Fansided. Go to scarletandgame.com for great coverage across all of Buckeye sports. And hey, we're also the official podcast, and in case you didn't notice it, it's on our flyer, the #1 Ohio State fan podcast as voted on by the College Huddle. Going over to the College Huddle, where you can find us, along with 80 other teams, covering all of the major conferences across the nation. Now, before we kick off, like, subscribe, share this show, ring that bell. You don't want to miss a single episode as we drop them. Now that we are that's right, 12 days, I believe, away from kickoff now. All 5 lines are open. Hey, we got 4 of them filled up already. 537-483-1999 is the number. You'll have to excuse me. A little strain on the vocal cords. Back to school this week, so a little strain there getting started, but hey. Let's try to keep calls around 10 minutes or so if we can. Remember, we want to try to get as many voices on as possible on the air tonight. And hey, if you want to jump to the front of the line, you know what to do. It's simple. Drop us a super chat with your area code and we'll bump you up to the front. Now, before we get started, let's talk about a little bit of news happening in Columbus today. For those of you who don't know, Julian Sayin, as we've suspected, is QB1. Ryan Day made it official today. So Julian Sayin will be our QB1. Day, Hartline, and Matt Patricia all spoke today at the presser, and all gave us some interesting takeaways from the practices thus far. And guys, I promised you some math, and this math is to show unequivocally that the Ohio State Buckeyes are going to reassert their dominance in the Big Ten. They are going to win the Big Ten title. Now, I do have to admit, I borrowed this math from a grad of that team up north. So forgive me. But for all of our wrestling fans, here we go. So all the teams that like to think they got a shot at winning the Big Ten title this year, let me put that little dream to rest right now. There's only 3 teams with a legitimate shot at the Big Ten title this season. The favorite has to be the reigning, defending, undisputed national champions, the Ohio State Buckeyes. Now, you know, all teams are not created equal. You look at Ohio State and you look at the rest of the Big Ten, and you can see that statement is true. Normally when you go one-on-one with another team, you got a 50-50 chance of winning. But the Buckeyes, nah, they're a bunch of athletic freaks. They're not normal. So Big Ten teams, you got at best a 25% chance of beating our Buckeyes. Now let's add some contenders to the mix. First, you got Penn State. Yeah, the Indy Lions and your chances, they drop drastically. You see, in a 3-team race, normally you got a 33 and a third chance of winning. But Ohio State actually has a 66 and 2/3 chance of winning because James Franklin, who's 1-9 versus the Buckeyes, knows he can't beat this team, so he ain't even going to try. So let's hop over to Oregon. Now, they're not on our schedule this year, but if they're fortunate enough to get to the Big Ten title game, they're going to have to play us. So Oregon, you take your 33 and a third chance. You subtract the Buckeyes' original 25% chance. That means you got an 8 and a third chance of winning this conference in 2025. But then you take our 75% chance of winning it. If we was to go one-on-one, and then you add the 66 and 2/3%, and Ohio State has a 141 and 2/3% chance of winning the Big Ten title this season. That's right, the numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster for any Buckeye opponents this season. Now, wait a minute. Some of you are saying, wait. What about that team up north? They've beat the Buckeyes 4 consecutive seasons. And it's true. But remember, Michigan cheated to win 3 of the last 4 seasons. Meaning they would have lost 75% of those games to the Buckeyes without cheating. So if each team had a 50-50 chance to start with, and you add the 75% chance to Ohio State, plus their 35% or their 50% chance, that gives you a Buckeyes chance of 125% chance of beating the scum this year, and gives any person who thinks otherwise 100% chance of being a complete idiot. The numbers don't lie, guys. The Buckeyes are reasserting dominance and winning this conference this season. Now, all that being said, guys, we got 5 lines lit up already. Let's see who's in queue and what they got for us tonight. Kane, what's happening, my man?
Chris, you just took my favorite promo line of wrestling. The Zack Ryder promo. Come on, man.
I couldn't help it. I just felt it. It was flowing through me, man. It was like the Force.
You know what, Chris? You know the math doesn't lie when you just spit the facts, brother, my brother from another mother. Okay, people, let me just be first of all clear. Chris and I have had issues before previously. He's the guy who commented I should be in a straitjacket at one point. But you know what? I forgave him of all that. We made up for all that. So just so everybody knows of this program.
We're good. We're great.
But let's get down to the business at hand. Julian Saint is QB1.
QB1.
Well, you know what that spells for everybody? That spells you got one of the best rookie starter quarterbacks in college football with a loaded up offense with 2 of the best receivers, who, in my opinion, is the receiving duo of this year, and not even last year. This year, Jeremiah States and Carnell Tate are going to be tearing it up with Chris Henry Jr. They're going to be tearing it up. And defenses ain't going to know what hit them. That's like the Chris Carter, Randy Moss. That's like Megatron and, Randy Moss. You know what I mean? You got Megatron doing your deep balls, and then you got Randy Moss just doing your catches all around the field. So you know what? You got problems defenses. I'm going to warn you. You got the Randy Moss and the Calvin Johnson, the Megatron duo, coming at you hard as always. But also, Chris, did I forget to mention that we have the number 1 defense, the Big Ten? I don't think I did, but I think I should remind the folks here on this OHL podcast. And if you're a fan of anybody else that's not in Columbus town, as my first edition song, Carcass, available for release, says, if you're not in Columbus town, we're going to lay you down, and that's a fact. That's just cold, hard fact. That's just no disrespect.
Now, McCain, I want to talk to you about Julian Saint, because you talked about the receivers, and I think you can go deeper than that. You know, you talked about the 2 receivers. I think you can go a little deeper. I mean, you can talk Brandon Ennis in there as well, because he's going to see a lot of time. You can talk Max Clare in there as well. He's going to see a lot of times. Hey, our running backs can catch the ball, you know. This guy has more weapons behind one of the best offensive lines in the country right now. I am so psyched for this young man. And, you know, Ryan Day came out and said it. You know, Julian really, this last week of practice, has really separated himself with consistent play. Consistent play. Let's remember what Ryan Day always says. He's looking for the guys who can do the routine things routinely. And that's what Julian has done this week to separate himself. And, you know, you go down, it wasn't just him talking about that. You had Matt Patricia talking about his decision-making, being able to handle the tempo of the offense, the huddle, adjustments at the line of scrimmage. They were throwing different packages at him, and he was picking it up. He was reading it. And this just isn't any defensive coordinator. This was a mad scientist who worked with Bill Belichick during the Patriots dynasty. And then Brian Hartline comes out, you know, on saying, it says he's commanding and earning the respect of his peers and ultimately the entire locker room. He's showing that leadership that we were wondering about, guys. He's showing the leadership. I think you're on point with this one, Caden. I think Julian Sayin is going to be an absolute beast.
He is going to be an absolute beast, Chris. And you just pointed out the actual facts. But I'll tell you which quarterback is not going to have a good time. There's actually three quarterbacks that Ohio State defense has a better chance of beating the living out of somebody. And let's start off with quarterback number one. I'll start off this, Chris, nice and slow for our scum fan of friends or whoever listens to it who ain't in Columbus down to listen. If you don't mind me, Chris, I like to go off for a little bit of a minute. You got Arch Manning. Arch Manning, you have a 100% chance of you getting the living beaten out of you by Ohio State defense, and that's 60 minutes, no excuse, and that's cold, hard football. Referred to you in the prison of the Big Ten. That's right, Ohio Stadium is a prison of the Big Ten, and when them gates shut on you, oh, buddy, you're locked inside a cage with a lot of hungry dogs in there that are going to tear you limb from limb, buddy. And the saying goes what's that quarterback's name for Penn State, that poor little PSU?
Oh, let me tell you what, Drew Aller. Drew Aller, Kate. I don't know if you heard our show last night. He is one of the most overrated quarterbacks in the country. Yes, he completes at an 82% clip inside of 10 yards. But in that 10 to 19 range where most quarterbacks live, his completion percentage is only like 45%. That's not acceptable.
And you know what? And you know what the unfortunate thing is? He's going to get his kick too. He's going to get the living kicked out of him by Ohio State's defense. 60 minutes of cold, hard football right there. And it's going to be at home in a blackout game. So it's going to be bad news for them because when it comes tonight, the freaks come out, and the freaks are going to be kicking the living out of him. And the third quarterback is little Bryce Underwood. That's right. The kid Tom Brady was just talking about in a little press conference about Michigan football, that he feels confident about this kid. Well, Tom Brady, I'm going to have to spill some bad news for you, buddy. See, you may be a Michigan legend. You may have the right to say about whoever you want, but it doesn't change the fact. November 29th, you know you're walking inside Hell's Gates, and when you walk inside of Hell's Gates, you know there's going to be a legion of angry monsters waiting for your boys. And when they do, no one's going to be able to let them out because the only thing you're going to be seeing is a lot of dead bodies laying out. And there's going to be blood, and there's going to be everything out of the human body. Because why? Them boys that wear the scarlet gray are going to be eating the living out of them boys. And I'm going to tell you, that's a dang fact. And the same goes for Arch Manning and Drew Aller. You walk inside, I don't know. You know how I said it? One time I said Ohio State is like hell in a cell. Once you walk inside that structure and that gate and that door locks on you and there's no way out, you know you're going to be stuck. You're still really stuck inside hell's playground. And unfortunately, three of those quarterbacks are going to suffer the wrath of the boys that wear scarlet and gray, whose anger is in, who's at hell temperatures of over 1 million degrees. I can tell you, that's a dang fact, Chris.
I'll tell you, Kate, I just got to, here we are, we're 12 days out. We talk about Ohio State's schedule. Is there a game that scares you on this schedule at all? Or even concerns you a little?
Chris, did you just ask me about a game that scares me?
Is there one that concerns you at all?
Chris, you know that's the most stupid question I've been asked about this team. Come on. My God, Chris, you should know my answer. No, and absolutely no. Why? Because here's the fun fact about it. Ohio State defense is going to take care of everyone. I don't care if you're Texas, the scum, Penn State, Illinois, you're talking a big game. Well, how about you actually shut up and play us for 60 minutes? Then we'll actually see. Oh, everybody wants to talk trash. You know, the whole entire Big Ten can talk all the trash they can talk about beating us, Chris. But you know what? If they can't beat us when they say they're going to, that just proves the point. They can't. See, here's a math fact, Chris. You want to talk Steiner math? Well, I'm going to introduce you to the Diesel Freak math. How about that?
Okay. We got 2 minutes. Hit me with it.
Illinois has a 25% chance of beating us at most. At least 15. See, we have a 100% chance of beating them. So you add their 15 or 25% chance. Well, they're 15 to 25. That gives me what, 60%. You add that to 100%. That gives you a 160% chance of us beating the living out of Illinois. Until Illinois and Indiana prove something else, I don't want to hear them boys talking on the internet. And I told Jeffrey, the big Indiana fan, that's a Crimson Tide fan, I told him, why don't you tell Kurt Signetti to shut the up and have him boys come over down here to play us again or Illinois. Because I don't care who you are, we're going to kick the living out of you, and we're going to beat you to a bloody pulp. And that's a dang fact. Do I even need to say enough, or is that crystal clear enough for you? Because I feel like I'm the only person.
That works for me, brother. I got no problem with it. I'll tell you,
Hey, Chris, how about you do me a favor?
What's up?
I want you to do me a favor. When the season starts and hell's bells ring, I need you to do me a favor. Take the childish part of you, pull it out of yourself, and flip that game day switch back on, because I'm gonna tell you what, it's gonna be one wild ride that's gonna put people down on the ground and leave people in a bloody pile of their own blood and everything else, and even the stuff that comes out of their behind, even after we tear them boys up. So I'm just gonna tell you that now. Pull the Sesame Street out of you, pull it out, and flip that game day switch back on, because let me tell you, I've already had my game day switch on, buddy. So I'm asking all OSU fans, including TG, but I already know TG is already mad enough and she's ready to fire off on them boys that wear the maize and blue who drink their mama's milk. I'm going to tell you that now.
Okay, man. Well, hey, Ken, I gotta move the next caller, man. We've already exceeded our 10 minutes. In fact, we're already over 12, bud. But hey, give us another call in, either Eric on Thursday or give me a call next Monday, man. I appreciate the call. OH.
I'll be back Thursday.
Sounds good, brother.
Oh, go Bucks.
And Michigan sucks. All right. Next up on the line, we got our man Ray. Is it going to bring him up? There we go. Ray, how's it going? What's up?
I'm still in shock of that decision Friday. When you see Eric again, I want you to tell him something, because this is a terrible, terrible world. I want him to start reading the Bible verses like he used to. He hasn't did it in a while. We got a wicked decision Friday. And I'm telling you, we need to fight the devil with God's word. So tell him to start going back to reading the Bible verses, especially with our season coming up. I don't want to ruin it for us. But anyways, I want to know something.
Yes, sir.
Nevada said the other day, and he's right, Michigan's appealing this decision because they already won the jackpot, winning that decision when they told them it was required to give them 2 years. So now on this, I don't understand the NCAA for one thing. Why would they put 12 people in a panel, and this guy from Ohio was in charge? Did he say anything up to now why they come up with that kind of terrible decision?
Oh, I've heard nothing directly. I know that the NCAA came out and said they didn't feel it was fair to punish young men who were not there at the time that all these violations occurred. Most of the coaches were gone. Most of the players were gone. That being said, and I really don't want to rehash it. I'm trying to do the Ryan Day thing, just like he started off the press conference. Didn't really want to talk about it, but you know what? since you asked, I'm going to throw this out there. I've talked to someone who is an attorney, and he had said to me that the worst thing that Michigan could do would be appeal this. Because if they appealed it, and if they refused to acknowledge the decision of the board, the NCAA could adjust their decision and get it right.
That's what I'm hoping. Hey, when? How many days do they have before they can appeal? I hope this ain't another year or two. Is it 90 days?
You know what? It's hard to say. It's hard to say. They probably have to file the appeal within 90 days. But you know what? Here's the thing. This thing's going to drag on so long that it really it's to the point where, yes, I would have loved to have seen something happen. No, it didn't happen. At this point, we are 12 days away from kicking off our season, and I'm done worrying about it. As much as I hate it.
I know, but Chris, one thing about this appeal, who will decide it? Is it going to be the same 12 jokers that just did this?
I have
no idea. Or is it going
to
be somebody new that decides the appeal?
I have no idea. I can't actually answer that for you. I don't know.
But could they theoretically couldn't they tell Michigan, okay, you don't like the $25 million fine, we're going to give you the requirement you were supposed to get to start with, the 2-year bowl ban?
Well, that's exactly it. That's exactly what could happen.
Right. Have they already put the appeal in?
Not to my knowledge. There's probably going to be a smart attorney somewhere in the state of Michigan who advises them not to do that. But again,
yeah,
I don't know. And again,
they already won the jackpot. My God, I couldn't believe that ruling. I just couldn't believe it. They said they didn't even have that on the table about taking away their title.
Yeah.
All right, let's go on to the football team.
All right, let's talk football.
I'm glad we got a quarterback now, and
Julian saying, yeah.
Yeah. What does our schedule look like? What are our tough games on the road this year?
Well, I'll tell you, we have some games on the road that for most teams would be tough, but this is Ohio State.
All right.
Road game. First road game coming out of the bye week. It's going to be in week, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, is Washington. Now, Washington's an improving team. They're not a powerhouse team. They're an improving team. But here's the thing with Washington. They are riding a 20-game winning streak right now at home.
Yeah.
So not to be completely ignored. My pick as perhaps the toughest one is at Illinois.
Yeah.
Wisconsin definitely is not a great team. They have an extremely tough schedule. They're going to be very beat up. But they are the quintessential trap game right there. Because they come between Illinois and playing Penn State.
Right.
And then the last away game is the last one of the season at Ann Arbor. And, I mean, as much as I don't want to say it, I personally think they're going to win this. I do personally think they're going to win this. But I understand those who are not picking them to win this based on the last 4 seasons.
Hey, you're playing on the road. It's 110,000 people against you. If you don't get off to a good start, and especially if you go back to the 4 losses, the offense is what let them down. The offense was terrible.
I think a lot of it was the play calling that let them down, and I don't think we're going to see that again.
I know. I agree with that. I just couldn't believe the play calling and everything else that went with that game. It was just a terrible game. But, you know, as bad as the offense played, the defense let them move the ball up and down the field the last 2 drives in the game. Even that interception that should have turned the game around didn't do it. So we've got to be more ready in the first quarter, because all you do is when you keep another team in the game like that, sooner or later they get enough confidence that they can beat you.
Yeah, the worst thing you can give a bad team is hope. That's the worst
Right.
thing you can do is give a bad team hope.
Hey,
Because,
you look at a baseball game or hockey game or anything, it's the same.
yeah,
If you don't get off to a good start, the more the game drags on, the more chance of you making a mistake that costs you the game.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
What's
Yeah,
our running backs look like?
I'll
What's our
tell you,
running backs look like?
our running backs look good. We've got 3 to 4 running backs that are going to be able to play.
Who's the number one?
Peoples is number
Who's the
one.
number one running back?
Peoples is going to be number one, and he's an absolute shredded beast. He is a physical specimen. We saw him at practice. The kid runs hard. Very physical runner. You look
Can
at
he hang on to the ball?
oh
Can he hang on to the ball?
yeah, he was not one of them that put it on the ground. There was
All right.
a couple
That's what
put
we
on the
need.
ground, but he did not do it.
Right.
You go to C.J. Donaldson, another physical guy. He's looking really good since he dropped that 30 pounds of weight, excess weight. Looking like a different type of back.
And our
But
offense and defensive line, that's where you win the games. How do they look?
Ray, I'm telling you, I think we've got the best offensive line in the country. I'm going to say it
That's
right now.
saying a lot.
I think we have the best. And it's not just because of the guys up front, right, in the starting 5. We may have the deepest offensive line in the country. This is going to be a very, very good offensive line. Defensive line, I think we're great at the ends. I'm a little scared at the middle. Not because I don't think the talent is there, but because I worry about the depth at the middle. Now, from what I've heard, Will Smith Jr. has been playing better in practice. Taiwan Malone looked good when Eric and I went to practice. You've got the option of obviously Moore as well. And then you talk about it. I mean, you can even do things where you put CJ down on the end or Caden Curry on the end to drop Bo to the down to the 3 technique. Slide Edric over if McDonald's hurt, or if Edric's hurt, you slide Bo over and have him play the 3 technique there. Lots of options. Lots of options.
I want to look at one more thing. Eric scared the hell out of me the other day. I listened to you guys last night, and he's got the Bullies 9-2. Look over their schedule. Does it look like to me that they can go 9-2? Are they going to be that good?
Eric and I disagree mightily on this.
Look at the schedule.
I like them losing at Oklahoma. I think they lose at Nebraska.
Right.
I think that they lose, obviously, to Ohio State. And then I think they lose either at USC or they lose at Michigan State in their other rivalry game. To me, I feel like Michigan.
Well, how does USC look? How does USC look this year?
Not bad. I haven't seen a whole lot of them up close, but they look decent.
Is that game at Southern Cal?
It is at Southern Cal. That's a big part of the reason I chose them to lose. That is a game at Southern Cal.
Is that the only home game you see them losing? Is Ohio State?
Yes.
Because who else they play at home?
They have New Mexico, Central Michigan, Wisconsin, Washington, Purdue.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll have to wait and see. I'm hoping for 5 or 6 losses like last year.
I can see 4. I can see where 5 is possible. I don't know that we see 6, but
Right.
Freshman quarterback, it's hard to say. So
I wonder about this guy. You know, how much did they offer him? $20 million.
10.
Oh, 10 million.
Yeah. 10.
Well, if that money sticks, 25, 30 million. Now, what happened to Corbin? They say they didn't have any ineligible players, but either he had a felony or he didn't on that vacuum sweeper thing. So what did the NCAA find out about Corbin and the vacuum sweepers?
I haven't seen any statement made about that.
Okay, all them pages, they didn't have anything about that.
Again, I haven't read this full 70-page report, so.
Yeah, well, what about Juan Howard in basketball, the way he beat people up and stuff in the hockey team? Was that all just
that's
swept under the rug or what?
Yeah, that's a separate incident. So this specifically focused on the cheating scandal.
On the football, okay. So that'll come out later, the basketball.
I think it's probably already been dealt with quietly.
Yeah, don't look like they give them there. And I wish, they're just trying to bully their way again on this decision, even though they won. They're trying to bully it. I'd like to see them guys have the guts to come back and say, okay, we'll give you the 2-year thing. You don't like this. We'll give you the requirements, the 2 years bowl ban. That's what they should do, but they won't have the guts to do it. I'll tell you, the NCAA's dead, and I worry about the sport. I've always loved college football ever since I was a little kid, and I'm worried, Chris, that this is going to be the end of football.
I'm not worried about it. Here's the thing. I don't like the direction it's headed in, but you know what? There's nothing we can do about it. So if we want to continue to enjoy football, we just got to force ourselves to change with the times, like the game is.
Yeah. Well, all right. I'm going to let you go. Go Bucks, and God bless you. I'll pray for your family. You pray for mine. And
absolutely.
OH.
IO. Go Bucks, and Michigan still sucks. All right, next up in the queue, we got somebody calling from the 931 here. Do I have that number listed? I do. Oh, I bet I know who that is. Is that? I believe that is Dave. Dave, how's things going?
It is I.
How's it going,
one
man?
who resides in Tampa.
Yeah.
I'm doing great. How are you doing today, brother?
Yeah, I'm like Ryan Day for the most part. I'm not even going to address what happened last week. I'm moving on. We are 12 days out from kickoff. I am feeling good. I'm feeling confident. I am feeling like we are going to watch another big title run. I think we get the Big Ten back this season the way we should have had it for at least 3 of the last 4. So, I'm feeling good about life.
You know what? We must be brothers from another mother, brother, because I am with you 100% on that. And I think things are back on track. The Buckeye train is leaving the station right now, and it's not going to be good for the college football world what's coming the next few years.
No, because I've never said this word before, and Eric will probably throw something at me for saying it now. Given the state of college football, I do not know that a three-peat is out of the question. Because I'll tell you right now,
I'm with you.
I look at this Ohio State team, and it's very difficult, especially as a Big Ten team, to repeat. I threw this stat out here last week. No team since Minnesota in the 1950s in the Big Ten has repeated as national champions. I think Ohio State has the team and the ability to do it twice.
I agree. I agree with you. And really, this shouldn't be the year. It should be next year.
But we said the same thing in 2014.
Exactly. Well, if we wouldn't have forgot that we had the best running back in the country, we would have gone back to back that, But, we forgot that the best running back in the country, probably the best player on offense in the country, was on our roster. Let's not hope that doesn't happen this year. That we forget that the best player in the country is on our roster.
Yeah.
But I'm with you. I think a three-peat, and I have a hard time saying that and for that coming out of my mouth because that is so wild to me to think that Ohio State might actually have the ability to three-peat. And because saying this don't, you look around the college football world, and man, I honestly don't think that anybody's in better shape than we are. You know,
I would agree.
I caught a little bit with you, and we shouldn't be in the shape that we're going to be in. There should be a little bit of a letdown, and you know, we may. You and I have talked about this. We both think that we're going to end up going 10-2 this year. I think it's very, very possible.
Well, I had us 11-1. I had us 11-1. Eric had us at 10-2.
Okay, I think 10-2 is our floor, and
I think undefeated is our ceiling. You know, that's.
I'm not going to be surprised if we go 12-0. I mean,
I would
think
agree with that.
If October is the month to worry about. October is runner's road.
That four
That's
game stretch. That
the
4 game stretch
the
is
two
rough.
games that worry me, Illinois. But man, when I went back and I looked at the schedule here a week or so ago, I was like, you know, man, we're coming off of after a Texas game, we got a couple of gimmies and then a bye.
Yeah.
Then we got to go on the road to Washington, who's not very many, nobody's really talking about that much, but I have heard them picked as kind of like a dark horse, kind of surprise team, not necessarily to win the Big Ten, but maybe they could make a playoffs. You know, and I think that's really dark horse to say that they could make the play, but you never know. I mean, they'd have to go to 10-2. That's a huge leap. Usually a team when they're building back, you know, like a Washington, you gotta win a couple more games the next year. Like Nebraska this year, they got to win a couple more games. Nebraska wins a couple more games, look out. USC's probably one everybody should be watching out for. You look at the 5 losses that they had, man, those losses were close. And they're building a roster there slowly but surely. You know, it's like Germany in 1930s. You know, they're building an arsenal. Nobody's really paying much attention to it.
Here's the thing, though. You talked about USC. I want you to listen to this 6-game stretch that USC has. It starts in week 5 with Illinois. They play at Illinois. Then they play Michigan at home. Then they travel to South Bend to play Notre Dame. Then they go to Nebraska. They get a break by catching Northwestern at home. But then they have to play Iowa and at Oregon. Man, 6 of that 7 games is a stretch, man. 6 of those, that was not kind on the part of the schedule makers.
Yeah, that's ugly. That's real ugly. That is really, really ugly. And,
the only place where they were lucky is all they get is the runners-up, and they don't have to face the champs. Because they got Notre Dame, but they don't get Ohio State, at least short of the Big Ten title game.
Yeah, I don't see USC being in that.
No,
I think it's probably going to be. I don't see USC in that. Honestly, I'm not going to be surprised. But you know what? Illinois got a tough schedule. Go look at their schedule, man. They don't have a cakewalk. They got some teams they got to play too. So
who's that? Illinois.
I think it's a wild football season, man. I think you could be looking at a couple of elite teams And then I think everybody else you could be looking at freaking 9-3 and 10-2s, and
I think you're
it's
gonna. I
wild.
think you're gonna see at least one team from both Ohio or both the Big Ten and the SEC potentially get in at 9-3. Because you're right, the way the schedules fell this year, a lot of teams going to be beating each other up. Guys, before you answer, Dave, let me just Vader. I saw you were in queue. You were next up. If you want to give me a call back, I'll bump you back to the front. 910, we got you coming up after that. Looks like the Shock Star is in the hole. And then 762, we'll get to you as soon as we can. We're trying to keep all the calls right around 10 minutes. So, all right, Dave, go ahead. Your thoughts. You talked
Yeah,
about.
I think that I think the SEC is going to look like it has the last few years. I think there's probably going to be a bunch of 10-2 teams, some 9-3 teams. Georgia, man, Georgia to me looks like they're heading the wrong direction.
I
That
agree.
offense just gets worse every year. It gets worse every year underneath the Kirby. And I tell you what, if they don't, if they slip below 10-2, I tell you what, it's going to be ugly in the state of Georgia. It's going to be ugly in the state of Georgia if they slip below 10-2, because I think I don't know if their quarterback's even pedestrian. Honestly, watching him in the freaking games I saw him, I'm like, man, I don't know if you give this kid all the snaps. I don't know. I think they're just heading the wrong direction, in my opinion.
The only stat they seem to be going up in is arrests.
That's it. And is Alabama going to improve? I mean, and if they do, by how much?
Alabama.
I don't see improve.
If Alabama doesn't make the playoff this year, Kalen DeBoer is on the hot seat.
I agree.
And it's a shame.
They go 9-3 again.
Yeah.
It's going to start getting ugly in there as well.
And here's the problem. And Eric says this all the time. Kalen DeBoer took that job at the wrong time. You never want to be the guy to replace the legend. You want to replace the guy who replaced the legend.
Absolutely.
Because that first person coming in after somebody like Nick Saban, who most consider the GOAT of college coaching, did not stand a chance. Because nothing short of perfection and undefeated records is going to be good enough for Bama fans.
Yeah, and honestly, you can't blame them. I mean, you can't blame them. I mean,
well, people like to talk about how Ohio State fans have been spoiled. Bama fans have been pretty spoiled the last 2 decades as well.
Yeah, they have been. They were spoiled for the last couple of decades, and what theirs was just completely just like unrealistic. Of like, what is even happening here, man? That was the craziest football run I think that's the craziest football run I've ever seen.
Yeah,
man. I remember the Miami run. I
6 titles in 14
stuff,
years,
man.
Dave. Is that right? I think it was 6 titles in 14 years.
Something like that. Yeah.
That's unheard of. That's something you will probably never see again in college football, especially now that everybody can throw the money around. I don't see that being something that we see a whole lot of again.
Yeah, and with the money, with the NIL, that's leveled the playing field against from the north and the south.
Yeah,
that was a thing that kept the teams up, in the Big Ten from really reaching where they really needed to be, because they had the southern teams could go up into territory that would normally be our territory and go get somebody out of Jersey or the DMV or something like that. Like,
yeah.
Doggone it, but now kids are going wherever, man. I mean, we got Ohio kids going to Oregon and Bama and Clemson and Tennessee and South Carolina and just everywhere.
Follow the
and got Georgia kids coming to Columbus. I mean, we've been getting Florida kids and Texas kids coming here for now, but now it's just we're just getting like the cream of the cream of crop from Florida and Texas and California.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting kids out of modern day. We got the two of the best receivers in the country, both out of modern day, are coming to Ohio State. We've never gotten a player out of modern day ever.
Yeah.
So things are heading a different direction, and I don't see the SEC as a whole heading in the right direction. I think the level of coaching once Saban left, the level of coaching seriously dropped off because everybody had somebody to chase and Nick Saban.
Yeah.
You know, and Ohio State just keeps keeping on. We're going to stay in that top tier, you know, and we'll appear every 4 to 5 years, and you know, should win 4 to 6 years, win a natty when we're where we should be. And right now, we're getting ready to go take this dynasty to the next level. It's going to the next level, and man, I just hope we can keep Ryan Day for a little bit longer.
Yep.
And when he leaves, I hope we replace him with another legend. You know, so.
All right.
But yeah.
I appreciate the call, Dave. It's wild. It's wild. I'm with you. I hope we can replace him with a legend, but here's the thing. And some people are going to get mad at me for saying this, but I'm going to throw it out there. I said it the other night. Ryan Day is a great, great coach. He can't be a legend yet. He's got to come out and have a winning record versus that team up north to be a legend. I think he does it. I think he starts by riding the ship this year. But I don't think we can call him a legend until he has a winning record versus the team up north. But that's just my 2 cents on it. Hey, Dave, I got to run. I've got 4 in queue here, buddy. And we've gone over our time. Hey, I appreciate the call, Dave. OH.
All right, man. Later. Ohio!
Go Bucks. And Vader, got you back on, buddy. Let's see here. Are you there for us, Vader?
Hey, Wildman, it's Vader. How's it going?
Oh,
I got a couple
great.
things from today's press conferences.
Hit me.
Saying got named starter. I figured it was only a matter of time. He has way too much arm talent, especially with our receivers, to sit on the bench. Does he need to improve things such as leadership and toughness? Probably does, but the best way to improve these qualities is game experience. I know a lot of Buckeye Nation is worried about the quarterback position. I might be wrong, but I'm not worried about it. Also, I'm hearing that Keen Holds could have a couple packages in short yardage and right on the goal line.
Yeah, I agree. First things first, yes, Julian is the quarterback, named QB1. I'm not as worried as a lot of people are. Ryan Day's come out and said, hey, listen, this last week he separated himself a bit. We heard Day talk about this. We heard Matt Patricia talk about this. He's smart. He's poised. He has good composure. His timing is getting better. He has accuracy. He is somebody who is processing, and his decision making is excellent. And Patricia was trying to trick him up. He threw some packages out there to try to shake him up, but he was able to handle the tempo. He was able to control the huddle. He was able to make adjustments at the line of scrimmage. So I'm not worried about that. And as far as the leadership goes, you know, Brian Hartline addressed that a bit, saying, and I'm going to quote Brian Hartline here, command and earning the respect of your peers and ultimately the locker room, you know, always knows. Building that camaraderie and earning the trust of your peers. How he works in the off season, how he worked during camp, everything was under a microscope. I feel like these guys are coming out. They are giving him, all three of our 2 coordinators and our head coach are saying, this is the guy. So I'm with you, Vader. I am not concerned at all about that. But yes, I do agree with you as well. We are going to have packages for Keenholz. I mean, if you look back, even when we had Honda McCord as our starting quarterback, we had packages for Devin Brown. The same thing's going to happen here. We're going to have packages, goal line, RPO situations, and short yardage, where they're going to want to take advantage of Lincoln's athleticism. So, yeah, you're 100% right. I think Lincoln does get playing time. And, I'm excited about Julian as the quarterback. What else have you got?
I'm very excited Seaveld is going to be the starting left tackle. He's just the latest guy to be underrated to develop into a star, and he's from right here in Ohio. I keep hearing this O-line is actually better at run blocking than last season. Coach Day said the running backs are going 3 deep to start the season. This is great, like Woody always said, you need a pair and a spare. This also tells me that Bo Jackson is making big moves, which I love because I believe he has the most upside in the long run in the room. At receiver and tight end we have too many weapons to name. I would like to single out one player, Carnell Tate. I had the privilege to meet him shortly after arriving at Ohio State. He had suffered a horrible loss in his family. I asked him what he wanted to accomplish as a Buckeye. He said, I want to be 3-and-out first-round draft pick so I can take care of my siblings. It's what my mom would have wanted. I don't usually hope that Buckeye players leave after 3 years, but in this case I'll be pulling for Tate to achieve his goal this season.
Yeah, I feel you there, Vader. I'm normally not somebody who wants to see guys go out early, but in some cases it's just undeniable that it needs to happen. We saw it a few years ago. We saw Mike Hall, a guy who flashed at times, probably would have improved his draft stock by staying, but had a family to take care of. So he went and he took the bag and he went to the NFL. And yeah, I could see Carnell Tate, different circumstance. He's wanted to take care of his siblings. And I hope that he does have that monster season that he needs to get that first round draft pick status. And I think he could. I think he very well could. But as far as the weapons, you talked about it. We got too many weapons to name. And everybody's talking about CJ and Peoples and of course Bo Jackson. Guys, don't sleep on Turbo. Turbo is going to get into games. I have never seen any player coached as hard as Coach Locke was coaching Turbo. That tells me that Coach Locke has a lot of hope that he's going to be in a lot of games this season. So, for me, I think that we got a pair, a spare, and a spare for the spare. Receivers, this is a team, we talked about this last night, easily could go 6-7 guys deep in the rotation. Don't think we will, especially not the first game. But the ability is there. The tight ends, great leadership in that room with Will Kasmerick. Great blocking. Then you got the pass catching ability of Max Clare, and even Jelani Thurman has flashed at times. This is a deep, talented team at every position with the exception of defensive tackle, where we still got to develop that depth. But to me, Vader, yeah, I'm with you. I am so excited about this team because I really feel like this is a team that can run it back this year.
On defense, I can't wait to see Coach Matty P. creativity and how he calls a game. Caleb Downs continues to play more and more nickel, which in my opinion is the development coming out of camp I'm most excited about. I look for a lot of 3 safety looks. Day said at linebacker he is very confident in 4 guys. This leads me to believe Petty John is ahead of schedule. This will give Matty P huge flexibility. That leads us to the other position. People are freaking out about the D-line, and once again I'm not worried. KJ and Thor look dominant. I predict will be starters behind them. We have Hicks and Curry, both have put on muscle mass and have worked on their weaknesses to be more complete ends. George is a very good against the run. Not mention Grady looks like a future star. On the inside, McDonald and Houston are elite. Behind them, Smith, Malone, and Carter are quote stepping up. Call me crazy, but being 11 deep sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah, again, I can't disagree with what you're saying there. I mean, let's start with the first thing. Caleb Downs at the nickel. And when Matt Patricia was asked today when it makes sense to play Caleb Downs in the nickel, Matt Patricia said simply, as much as you can, get him close to the line. Get him close to the ball as much as possible. He's a great communicator. He's strong with communicating to the deep guys and the down guys. He's football savvy. This is a guy who is a field general on that defense for you. And his ability to play near the line and play up towards the ball more is going to free up those linebackers to have some fun and get creative as well as letting him blitz at times. Arvell and Sonny, a lot of flexibility there. You talked about it. 4 guys are going to see consistent playing time, I think, out of that linebacker room. Now, obviously, Sonny and Arvell get the majority, but, Riley and Peyton are going to get time. And then on that defensive line, I think that they've got things they can do in the event of an injury. But yes, I mean, where they're very thin is at the defensive tackle positions. But there's opportunity there. There's opportunity. You can bump one of those defensive ends down to the 3 and move Houston over if it's McDonald that's injured. If it's Houston that's injured, it's a simple move down to the 3 for somebody like Thor, who could get out there and get after it. I mean, I've looked. I think we are the deepest team in college football this year. And in the extended playoffs era, deep is good. It's what you have to have. Anything else for me, Buck Vader?
Thanks for having me on again, Wildman.
Absolutely.
Everyone check out all the great videos on the Buckeye Lounge, especially from last week. They are all legends. Also, the Buckeye Force Report 2027 recruiting preview I did with Marvelous Mecca is absolute fire. Please, if you can get a membership or do a super chat.
Yeah, absolutely. And 910, I'm coming to you next in just 1 minute. But I do need to address something that our buddy Aaron here threw in the chat, talking about rotation. Because let me tell you, Ryan Day talks rotation today, specifically on the offensive line. And this is what he said. There are 6 or 7 guys we feel comfortable with getting in on the offensive line. At running back, we feel comfortable that we can get them in the game. Tight end, probably the deepest we've ever been. Probably feels comfortable with 4 or 5. Aaron, Ryan Day is saying he has every intent of rotating as much as possible. Ryan Day learned from what happened last season. Make no mistake about it. He is going to rotate. He is going to keep his guys fresh. He's not going to have guys dragging ass in the 4th quarter of the Michigan game because we didn't rotate all season. You better believe it. All right, 910, we're coming over to you right now.
Chris.
Tyler, what's happening, my man?
I want to go. I'm great, Chris. Today's my 2nd year anniversary today.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you. But I want to carry on what you just were talking about rotation. Because I keep hearing people say we have no depth, but I argue when you bring that up, people make it seem like we don't have bodies.
Yeah, We don't lack depth. We lack experience at the depth positions.
Yeah, so, but everyone makes it like how they word, how they phrase the term lack of depth, quote unquote, makes it seem like we have no one in the defensive line room, period.
And that's just not the case. And not only do we have people there, but we got options there. We got people who can play inside and outside. We got monsters. We've got speed guys. We've got guys who are good with technique, good with their hands, have great footwork. We have so much talent. It hasn't been exposed yet. We haven't had the experience in the games yet. They're gonna be just fine.
Which is perfectly fine. But the way that the media and the way that other fans make it seem like, they make it seem like the way they word it, the way they phrase it, it makes it seem like that, oh, if they go out there, they're just going to get run over.
No.
It makes it seem like that they're just going to allow the offensive line to, hey, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to, you can just push me over like I am like a feather. No, this defensive line, I think, is the best in college football. And I think this is the best defense in college football again.
I agree. It's the best defense in college football. I'm not quite there on the best defensive line yet. Let me see how our depth guys play at the tackle position, and I could get there real quick.
Here's where I disagree on that, Chris. Because I keep hearing like, oh, we are worried about defensive line and tackle depth. Well, we were arguing about this, not you and not us specifically, but people were arguing about this, saying that, oh, we have no depth at defensive tackle last year. But how much times are you going to go to your fifth guy, to your sixth guy in a year? Unless a disaster happens where you have, like, knocked on wood.
Where you lose your starting offensive tackle and your starting center? That kind of disaster, but on the defense?
Yeah. How many times does that happen? Not many, unless you're really unfortunate, which, and I'm just pointing I'm just saying it like that, Chris.
Fair enough. Real quick before you continue your next thought, Tyler. Guys, lines are open. 419. I'm sorry, not 419. Almost gave out my personal phone number. 567-483-1999. That's 567-483-1999. Lines are open now. We only have one in queue after Tyler, that being the Schrock Star. He'll be up next. Okay, Tyler. What else is on your mind tonight?
Okay, well, also, now we cleared the air on who the starting quarterback was, which we already knew it was going to be Julian. Now, everyone in the beat media can take a deep breath and be like, ugh. Because I feel like prior to the Texas game, Chris, the beat media is hyperventilating, thinking, oh, it's Texas, it's Texas, it's Texas. Oh, like, hey, their defensive line, we can't block them. I'm like this. And I'm just looking at them like, are you serious? Because last time I checked, Chris, I might be. Ryan Day is an offensive genius. You can scheme around a good defensive line. You can chip. You can double team. You can run around. No, you can run towards the defensive end, i.e., Colin Simmons.
Yeah, absolutely right.
So, why is it that it's a question that I always keep asking, Chris, and I don't get an answer, but this is not a question towards, I've never asked to you guys. This is towards the beat media. Why does the beat media hype up the opponent every time and they don't play? In the defensive end, we shut them down.
To draw interest for the game. To draw additional interest, they want you to think it's going to be more competitive than it is, or they've got a more competitive player than it is. It's all about clickbait. You know, and it's all about, you know, partially I think it's about giving respect too, because, you know, we hear the phrase bulletin board material thrown around a lot. Well, you know, not saying anything can be just as offensive as saying something. So maybe they want to put that out there so that we don't give them bulletin board material saying they're being disrespected.
Well,
So,
if that's the case, Chris, I'm like this. Okay, you think that's bulletin board material, but what has Colin Simmons done this year? Nothing.
nope.
What has Texas done this year? Nothing.
Nope.
So how can you disrespect somebody if they haven't done anything yet?
I don't know, man. I wish I had an answer for you. I really do. But I honestly just don't.
I just try. I'm only asking this, Chris, because I'm trying to understand the logic of the beat media whenever a big game comes up, because it always seems like it's the same song and dance every time, and then we beat that big team, and then we didn't think they were as good as we thought they were.
Yeah. Yeah. That's but that's the other thing. I mean, if you look at this, I think it may be partially, if you look at this time of year when they do that, is it a bit of an SEC ploy? Yeah, the SEC, that's the thing. That's why they're all gung ho and SEC, is they promote the hell out of the other teams so that, you know, you can't say, oh, this was a great win. And then somebody can say, well, not really. It's kind of a win that sucked because you didn't repurpose it, or it was originally meant for another thing, or I don't know.
And that's all I got to say, Chris. I don't. This logic that I keep hearing from the Ohio State media, every big game, they hype up the other team in a way to and downplay Ohio State. I don't know, to like motivate them or just respect the other team.
Yeah.
I don't understand that logic.
I don't really have, like I said, I don't really have an answer. With me not being the one that's there doing the writing, I can't really tell you why they're taking that approach. So,
Because I'm going to say this, and I'm going to end my call, Chris.
okay.
Because it's just, I don't understand this logic where just because the Ohio State media is making it seem like we're on the road.
Yeah.
Everyone is making it seem like we're on the road at Texas.
Yeah.
Going in this game.
Well, you know, I don't know. I wish more people thought the way you did. I'm telling you right now, I'm not worried about Texas one bit. I think we're gonna beat Texas. I think I've said this since the beginning. I think it's a 2-score game, double digit win. So, that's just me though.
Well, see, Chris, that would mean we would use our Ohio State fans, or other college football fans would actually use our brains.
Not a lot of that going
other than
around.
Michigan fans.
Not a lot of that going around in college football these days, from the admins right down to the fans.
Yeah, the only fan base that doesn't use their brains is Michigan fans. That's all I got to say about that.
All right, man. Well, hey, I'm gonna move along. I've got one more caller in queue. We have, and we're over our 10-minute time, so hopefully you will call back in next week, Tyler. And hey, it was good to hear from you, buddy. OH.
All right. IL.
Go Bucks. And Michigan still sucks. Last caller in queue right now, guys, is Sean. So if we do not have any other callers shortly after Sean, we will go ahead and wrap this thing up. I do want to give everybody a shout out here. Don't forget about our big preview magazine. Sean talked about it earlier in the day. And hey, Eric and I busted this thing out. It's a beautiful magazine. I'm extremely proud. But lots of great articles. You got the rosters. You got position group breakdowns. You've got weekly game breakdowns. Some great articles. And I don't just say that because I wrote them. Well, yeah, I do. But that's okay. I really like my writing. So, yeah, lots of great stuff in there. Quite the deal at only $30 for the hard copy, $19.99 for the digital copy. If you want a hard copy, please shoot us an email at theohiopodcast@gmail.com. All right. Next up, looks like we have, as I said, the Schrock Star. And after him, we got somebody calling from the 216. Oh, why did it not come up? Let's try it again. There we are. Sean, are you on?
Yes, I am, Wildman.
Oh, I'll tell you, I don't know how wild I'm feeling, man. I had to get up at 4 a.m. this morning for work. I had to get up at 4 a.m. so I could go to the gym before work. And, it's starting to catch me.
I get up at 4:30, so I get it, man. Hey, I just want to say to you and Eric, man, my hat's off to this beautiful
Did you get your magazine
that you guys created. I got it today. And it's funny because Eric called me right after I got off work and I hadn't got home yet. And as soon as I get home, I see it, man. It's beautiful. I'm really honored that you put me in TG in it. Our pictures are in it.
Hey, you're part of the family, man.
Thank you for that. It's just, this looks like something that SI or the Sporting News would put out. It's better. Everyone, I'm not just saying this because I'm a part of this wonderful group, but man, this magazine is worth the money, and it's just amazing. It's beautiful. This should be like in Walmart, in the bookstores. You guys should be selling it everywhere. Honestly, people should be. I mean,
we need you promoting it for us, man.
It's awesome, man. I love it. I haven't been able to put it down since I've gotten it, and I just keep looking at it and I keep reading the articles, and you guys did an awesome job. I mean, it looks professionally done.
Well, I'll tell you,
off to you guys,
we
man.
actually did have it professionally printed. Wasn't something that we did. We actually sent it off to be printed, and I'll tell you, it was a good deal for what we got. Because I'll tell you, I'm really impressed by the weight of the paper, the gloss, everything about it. I appreciate that so much that you were enjoying that. And I heard Vader said that he really liked his as well. So pretty excited about that, guys. What's on your mind tonight other than the magazine, though, Sean?
I tell you what, I'm glad that we can get it over with, that Julian was named the quarterback. I think we all kind of knew it, but just like to go through the motions every year because it's not. We know who it's going to be, and they just don't want to hand the person the job. And I get that, but come on. There's a lot of people in the media just trying to pump Lincoln up. Do I like Lincoln? Do I think he's a good kid? Yeah. Do I think, he's got some talent? Yeah, but I don't think he's a freaking Big Ten quarterback. I'm sorry. I think after this year, he transfers to maybe a MAC school. Maybe he's a Big Ten second string kind of guy, maybe a Northwestern type quarterback, but I don't see it.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
Well,
I know a lot of people might disagree with me, but that's just my opinion on it from what I've seen of the kid.
and you may be right. I don't know that you are, but you may be. And here's the thing: I think we're going to see packages with him to allow him to show off his athleticism. And hats off to Ryan Day for that, for giving the kid the opportunity to do that. Because if he does decide to transfer, that's going to be the type of game film he's going to need. So if we get into a position where we can do that, then by all means, I'm all in favor of it. But you got to go, I think, with Julian saying, I think he's got more upside than, I can't say than anybody in that room, because let me tell you, Tavion's got an awful lot of upside on his own. So,
well, I'm hoping they get that kid some reps this year. I think that kid needs to get some reps. Because, yeah, we'll have Julian for another year, but still, you got to get the more reps that kid can get, the more he's going to get better. So, I mean,
yeah.
That's the one thing that irritated me about last year, is I felt they didn't get Julian enough reps.
I agree.
I mean, we basically knew that he was going to be the starting quarterback this year, Chris. And I know they wanted to reward Devin Brown for being a good soldier and everything, but guys, come on, man. We knew Julian was going to be the quarterback, 99% sure he was going to be.
Yeah.
So they should have gotten him a lot more reps than what they did last year.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And let's hope he's learned. Let's hope Day's learned, and I think he has. So I think you see.
I mean, a lot of the other positions, he's got a lot of those guys some reps, and I thought he did a good job in some of the other positions, but I think the one position that he failed at was quarterback. And I know it was kind of tough because they wanted to have Devin Brown ready in case something happened, but you knew Devin Brown wasn't going to stick around, and Julian was going to be your guy, and then you should have just bit the bullet and let Julian take the reps. But there's nothing we can do about it now. So
yeah, you're
hope
right.
he learns from his mistakes.
And he is. He will. Ryan Day is somebody who I have the ultimate confidence in learning from his mistakes. So.
Well, that's one thing I'll give him credit for, Chris. I mean, look at how many hires that he's made that when it doesn't work out, he goes and he corrects it. I mean, he's made a lot of changes to his staff.
And let's touch on that for a second, because, Ryan Day may have more active assistants than anybody else in college football right now. And they aren't just low end, no name assistants. These are studs in the football industry, guys. I mean, we have two guys on this team who were D coordinators in the NFL.
Yep.
Actually, I don't know. We might have three. Was O.G. Walt a defensive coordinator down with the Panthers, or just defensive backs?
Oh, Walt was a defensive coordinator at the Rams, I believe. Wasn't he?
I thought so too.
Nice's defensive coordinator.
So now you're talking. We got with this latest hire with Boyer, we got three guys who were defensive coordinators in the NFL. You got guys who played in the NFL, who came from Ohio State on this team. They say that a true measure of a person's wisdom can be shown in who they surround themselves with. A great leader will surround themselves with the right people. Because great leaders don't know everything, but they surround themselves with people who do. And I feel like that's what Ryan Day has gone out and done. He is surrounding himself with people who know, with people who are great. So,
you can never have enough. I mean, since they made that rule where you can have unlimited coaches, he has, not been shy about how many guys he's got, and I commend him for that.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Hey guys, right now we only have one caller in queue after Sean, 567-483-1999. Looks like I've seen a little jump in the numbers here over the last few minutes. Looks like maybe some people were hanging out on another channel. Maybe if you are dropping in, if you are, we welcome you in. Phone lines are open, and it's been a slow night. So, guys, be willing to call in and let's talk a little football. All right, Sean. So, is there anything at all this season that you're concerned about?
As long as we stay healthy, I don't see any issues, honestly. I mean, I know everybody's a little worried about that defensive line. And you know what? I get it because we don't have the experience there. And that's understandable, but that doesn't mean those guys can't play. Like Tyler pointed out before, there's a difference between inexperienced and unplayable. Those guys are playable. They're just a little inexperienced. But I got faith in the guys that we have there. I got faith that Larry Johnson will coach them up if they need to play. There's a lot of big guys in there that are very skilled. And hopefully at the beginning of the year when we have some of these blowouts, and get these kids a lot of reps.
Right.
I mean, one, it keeps them engaged and lets these younger guys get a taste of the action. Two, it gets you game tape on these guys so you can correct them and teach them what they're doing wrong. Three, it gives them, live game reps so they're not going to be totally shell-shocked when they get thrown into a game.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Sean, real quick, we've crossed over that 10-minute threshold, so let me ask you, what's going on tomorrow night on the lounge?
We were supposed to have a guest. He has not confirmed yet, so I'm 90% sure he's going to come, but I don't want to say it exactly yet because he's not gotten a hold of me yet because he's busy. I know he's got busy night coaching, so he's a high school coach right now. He's a former national champion, so I'll just put it that way. If he cannot, something happens where his practice runs over and he can't make it, me and TG will just chop it up like we always do if we need to, and if not, we're going to have an awesome guest. So,
but I'll tell you, I am part of the chat. We have a private little group chat that myself, Sean, Eric, TG are a part of, and man, Sean's been kind of filling us in on some of the guests he's been lining up. And let me tell
you what, last night was
it's impressive.
Last night was like an avalanche. It was like an avalanche, man. I just started getting all these people hit me back saying that they're interested in coming on, and I tell you, we're giving these guys, these former Buckeyes, a platform that they can come on and tell their stories. And I will let some people little peek behind the curtain. I spent a little time on the phone with Mr. Tim Anderson tonight, and he's going to go through his Rolodex and see who he has in his phone bank, and he's going to maybe do some reaching out for me and see what former teammates he can get to come in the lounge. So
that's awesome, man. That is absolutely awesome. All right, guys, everybody, make sure you check out Sean and TG, 8 p.m. on the Buckeye Lounge. Actually, wow, we just had 3 jump into queue. All right, I like this.
One thing I do want to say, anybody, if you get the chance, buy the magazine. Is worth it. I promise you, it is worth the money. You will be impressed. This is top quality stuff, man. Hats off to you and Eric. You guys.
Thank you.
Amazing job, man. Amazing job. Award-winning stuff here, man. sports journalist stuff that you guys put together, man. It was awesome. Great job, guys. Can't say enough about it, man.
I got to say, too, guys, we got a couple new T-shirts, and we've sold a couple today.
Nice.
We have the, which way are we going? There we go. These were developed by our friend Tony over at Curse Designs, and these are available for purchase on the store. Our good friend Lenny, also known as Billy Bob, he bought one today. But guys, it's not just that. We don't just have that one available. We also have... Oh, am I going to be able to find it? I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it. I've got them. I know it. Oh, there we go. Just put it back down. It's got to be it here then. There it is. That's right. The official Buckeye Lounge shirt as well is available on the website.
Wow.
I'm also making a link on there for the magazine if you want to purchase through the store site as well, because I do have some available for purchase through me as well. So guys, lots of things going up on there. Ladies, we got some earrings that just went up on there. Of course, we still have some of our tumblers. So the store is open. Right now, free shipping is set up, and that is currently open to anyone who is a member of our pod squad for only $3.99 a month.
Awesome.
All right, man.
Hey, guys, the membership's well worth it, man. Just one quick plug. The membership's worth it, guys. You get a T-shirt. You get great content. I mean, there's so much stuff you get with it, man. It's so worth it for $3.99 a month. I mean, it's a gallon of gas, guys. It's a cup of coffee. The membership's well worth it. Free shipping. You get the magazine. You get a freaking awesome T-shirt. Great quality. And Chris has a lot of great stuff in the store for you guys to check out. So thanks again for having me on, brother. Great job again on the preview. You and Boxy killed it. OH.
IO. Go Bucks.
Some sucks. Go Bucks.
That, of course, was our buddy Sean Schrock, the Schrock Star. And he and TG can be heard Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. right here on the OHIO Podcast Network as the hosts of the Buckeye Lounge. And man, they had a week last week, Legends Week. They were just interviewing people left and right. Keith Byers, Cornelius Green. I believe they had Marcus Hall, Donnie Nicky on. Wow, what a week they had last week. All right, we're going to the 216 next. And guys, we'll keep this going as long as you're calling. Come on, let's pick her up. There we go.
Wildman, Darren, what's up?
Oh man, it's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day to be alive. Beautiful day to be a Buckeye. I'm psyched.
We're horns down around here, aren't we?
Bow. We're gonna have some bevo steaks on the grill, baby. We're gonna have them things fired up.
So I'm not gonna make it long, but I want to hear. So I'm a little worried about that scum game.
Did you not take my math lesson at the beginning of the show, man?
I failed math class. Well, man.
So let me tell you, I'm not worried about it at all this year. This is a different Ryan Day. And by the way, for those of you who are just joining, because we've had quite a few jump in here recently, we will go ahead and run through the math lesson again here shortly. But, I am not worried about Ryan Day one bit this year versus Scum. There's something different about that man right now. That national title did something to him. It unlocked him. And I'll tell you, I think that they have got something coming. And this is not the Connor Stallions, Michigan guys. This isn't even Sharon's guys last year who went in and upset us 13-10 in our house. But more importantly, it's not the same Ryan Day. So for me, I feel very confident about what we have talent-wise. I think if you go down through the position groups, we are better at every single position group than the team up north this year. Every single one. And we're better in the coaching.
I guess my biggest concern is going to be, I think didn't last year he took the playbook call over.
I think he did. There's rumors of that, but let me tell you,
That's what kind of.
Here's the thing. I think we had things working against us. We had conservative Ryan Day for one. The other thing is, you're still not going to convince me that Will Howard did not have a concussion in that game.
Oh, for sure he did.
And I think Ryan Day was doing his best to protect him. And I think that's why we shifted our focus the way we did, even more run heavy, more predictable.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to have that this year. We're just not. So I'm 100% confident we go in and we beat Michigan this year.
All right. I mean, I still got some months to get confident.
That's right.
So.
You'll be able to see him tear up Texas, and put a whooping on Penn State, smack Illinois around a little bit at Illinois, and I'm sure you'll feel better about life at that point.
I love smacking Texas around because I got a bunch of buddies in Texas, and they're all like, Longhorns, and Texas is the best, and
Well, there's only two things that come from Texas, as the saying goes.
But I was actually down there in 23, and I was flying my Ohio State flag, and they're like, "Oh, you guys are garbage. You're gonna suck." And I told them, I said, "Next year in 24, we're gonna win it all." And look what happened.
That's right. That's right. And I'm telling you, there is potential for a repeat. There's potential, given the state of college football right now, for a three-peat. Unlikely. It's unlikely. I got to say that. It's rare that it happens in the Big Ten Conference. Not since Minnesota in the 50s have we had a team repeat. I can't remember any time recently, though, that Ohio State has been this deep, this talented. And the field of college football has been so wide open. There is no mega power team right now. The closest thing probably is Ohio State. Yeah, Day's got the blueprint. That's exactly right.
So I mean, he's great in the playoffs, but I don't know, man. That's scum game for some reason.
He'll get it. He gets it this year. I truly believe that.
I sure hope so, because 4 years is too long. Listen to these people, man.
It is. It is. And as I said earlier, this is a team that's taken back the Big Ten this year. We're going to be back in Indy in our rightful home away from home, playing for that Big Ten title this season.
I like your confidence, Wildman.
I'll tell you, I'm feeling good. Something about it, something about all this just feels right.
All right. I ain't going to keep you long. Shout out to everyone in the chat, TG, Sean, Vader, Wildman, and Eric, and everybody else. Have a good night, Chris. OH.
Hey, IO, go Bucks.
See you, buddy.
And as always, Michigan sucks.
Horns down.
Horns down, baby.
See ya.
See ya. All right, last caller in queue is from the 330. And it looks like it is Dave. Dave, what's happening?
What's up, Chris? You're right. Scum sucks for forever. They will always suck. They're always terrible. So I'm done talking about how awful they are and with just despicable people.
12 days left, Dave. We've turned the page on them. I'm like what Ryan Day said earlier. I'm not even. I've talked about it if people bring it up to me, but I'm not going to introduce that subject into conversation any longer. whatever happens,
Right.
happens. Is what it is. Now it's
Yeah,
time
we,
to
we need
focus on football.
we need to look forward to our team and this season and going up there and kicking their ass in late November.
That's
We need
right.
to look forward to, my friend. A couple things I wanted to talk about. A lot of talk about the offensive line coming into this year. And I want to throw this out there because I actually think that there's a real possibility of this. But I want to get your opinion on this. When was the last time, and I really feel Ohio State can have this year, when was the last time you'd say Ohio State had the best offensive line in the Big Ten?
Maybe 14? I don't even know if it was then.
I would say, my opinion was 2019. I think Dave's first year. I think we had the best offensive line in the Big Ten.
They were good. They were solid.
I think that, especially that interior of Wyatt Davis, Josh
Yes.
Myers, and Jody Jackson
Yeah.
that came in was really, really good.
Yeah. We had a great interior line at that point. But here's the thing. I don't know that. The thing for me is I think this team's not only better than that, I think they're deeper, obviously.
Okay.
So I'm feeling very confident.
I like the interior. See, I thought Tegra, and then I liked Montgomery when we finally saw him play.
Yep.
And I'm starting to think that if Searville can hold up at tackle, because he played interior, then I do think that this has a chance to be the best offensive line in the conference, which gives me a lot of confidence coming into this season.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I think this may be the best offensive line in the country. I'll be honest.
Wow, you're going to go that far?
I am going to go that far. I think Austin is an amazing, amazing athlete. And we don't get to say that enough about guys on the offensive line. No one has worked harder or put in more work to improve than Austin Searville. He has, obviously Iron Buckeye, we've talked about it. The move to left tackle, we've talked about it.
Right.
Team captain, he's doing everything right now. You look at the rest of the line as you go through, and you talk about Luke. Luke probably getting started left guard. I love Luke at left guard. Love his athleticism. Carson, just a mean, nasty dude right there in the center of that line. Very smart. What people don't talk enough about is his football IQ. Carson is a very intelligent young man. Tegra Shabola. I think I'm with you.
Yeah.
I think he's done a great job. You have
he made a lot
Austin
of
on the
progress.
outside.
He was not good towards the end of the year, man. And then I thought towards the
that playoff Tegra was different.
Yeah, everybody on the team elevated their game, obviously. But I really thought those guys on the interior, because I was waiting to see Montgomery play for a while. And then when he finally hit the field, he looked good. You know what I mean? I like what I saw. And that's what gives me confidence, Chris, is because, like I mentioned about that 19 line, the strength of that group was the interior. And look what we got out of that line. That was the year J.K. ran for over 2,000 yards.
Yeah, and I just want to throw this out there. Here's a tough problem for you to have. What about if your first tackle off the bench is either Ethan Oniawa or Philip Daniels? Because one of them's going to start, the other one's going to be the first tackle off the bench. I mean, you're talking about guys, big name guys who are brought in to make a difference in this team through the portal. Big guys who are paid NIL. These are talented big men. Make no mistake. We got to see them up close. These are some big men. And Philip Daniels, man, so angry, so chippy, so just mean. He is the kind of mean and physical that we have missed in these games against that team up north the last few years.
Right. Absolutely. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, a lot of people were down on Justin Fry. They thought that, he did, a good, job with development. Although, but they obviously everybody gave him a lot of grief for recruiting. Although I would say I remember the stud era, and the last year of the stud era, he had some in-state misses in recruiting. You know what I mean? That last recruiting class he had that I think hurt Justin Fry kind of coming in. As far as the depth of the position. But you're right though. But I think people's point is right that Fry wasn't exactly the best recruiter, which I would agree with.
Yeah, and this is the thing about that. I mean, I can't knock Coach Stud too much because Coach Stud was injured. He was not physically able to do his job at that point.
Okay.
And that was a big problem with him getting out and recruiting.
Okay.
Is he wasn't physically able to get out and do the job to his full ability, but that's neither here nor there. We do have some, I think, great young guys in that two deep. You talk about Jake Cook, somebody who's definitely on the upswing. Josh Padilla at the backup center, I think, is somebody who's going to be very, very good. Gabe Van Sickle's looking very good at practice. And then you talk about Carter Lowe. That's a name to listen for because I'm telling you, the big freshman, he is a big freshman. He's probably not going to see a lot of quality minutes this year. He might get some mop-up duty, but that kid has got the size and I think the strength to be a star eventually.
Have you been hearing anything about the development of the Armstrong twins?
We actually did a video about this, and I'm not going to get too much into it because Eric had a source on what was going on with the Armstrong twins.
Yeah.
Let's just say they were in the doghouse for a while.
Okay.
And it wasn't to do necessarily with on-field action.
Oh, okay. Got it.
So, I mean, it wasn't anything criminal or illegal or anything like that. It's just and it wasn't anything to do with their grades, so it had nothing to do with eligibility. It had to do with just a poor choice that was made.
Okay. Yeah, because I was really thinking that they could be ready to play or at least contribute by year number 2, year number 3, in their class, or at least hoping, that maybe at least as rotational guys or depth piece guys.
Yeah, they're probably both in the 3 deep right now, and they're guys who are going to get minutes, I think, in cleanup time and mop-up time. And obviously, if any injuries occur, they're guys who could slide up into the 2 deep. But they're not starters, obviously, this year at all. We've got a tremendous group in front of them. So,
yeah, their time may come next year, or if it does, hopefully for them it does. Right. Yeah. I wanted to ask you about philosophically, with the Brian and Ryan combination and play calling.
Yeah.
And I think that a friend of mine was talking about this, that he always felt that, a lot of people, there's that theory out there that Ryan Day, at times can get a little too pass happy. Actually, I wish in the Scum game last year, we all wish he would have gotten a little bit more pass happy than he did. But especially with the advantages we had at receiver versus their corners in that game, of course. But to that point, how do you expect, because I do think it's a little overrated, because I think that we've run the ball with his offenses in the past. I mean, do you expect to see them put more of an emphasis on the run game early in the year with a young quarterback, or do you have any feeling on what you expect to see from the play calling? Okay.
I do. We have a running back room, but we've got 4 running backs, possibly 5, who are ready to step on the field and make an impact.
Right.
Right now, Coach Locke has coached these guys up so well. You look at this, we have, I think, like you said, a young quarterback. Watch for guys like Brandon Ennis, for Max Clare, to be integral in the passing game early. Watch for the run to open the pass. That is going to be what's going to happen. The run is going to open the pass. But watch for interesting, I think, run schemes to be dialed up. Watch for things that we may not have seen a lot of before. Because they're going to focus on this run game. Some of these guys on this offensive line are real road graders. They pass block better. Run block better than they pass block. Not to say their pass block is bad, but you know what I'm saying? It's just, They're nasty. They're physical. You look, for instance, at Philip Daniels. This is a guy who's big, nasty, and is going to move you off the line of scrimmage. That's perfect in the run game.
Yeah. I do like people's potential. The one thing I did say to a friend of mine, I wish we, and maybe fans have talked about this. I wish we would have seen Peoples a little bit more in mop-up duty. Some of those blowout games last year, get some opportunities, get some valuable reps, to get him ready for the future a little bit more. But I think he's got a world of potential.
Yeah, I agree. I think this team is filled with potential. From Julian Sayin right down to Turbo Rogers to Devin Sanchez, to our young pair of safeties, to Fahim Delane. This team is all about potential. Completely through the roster. Now, we've got some proven guys. We got some very good proven guys. But let me tell you, if you are Devin Sanchez and you're this highly touted defensive back, coming in as a freshman recruit at Ohio State, how much better do you think you get playing against Jeremiah Smith and Cornell Tate every day?
Oh, right. No, I
the
love
old
the
iron
quarterback.
the old iron sharpening iron thing. It's legit. By the time Devin's ready to take the field as a full-time starter, I'm assuming next season, but who knows? Could be earlier, could be later. This guy is going to have played against the best receivers in college football for an entire season.
Right. Well, I love the cornerback position. I think actually overall, I think we're going to have the best back seven in the country when you look at combination of linebackers and secondary, which is what I really like. I mean, I can see the obvious strengths. O-line, wide receiver, back seven of the defense are really, a lot of the strengths of the team. We'll have to see. I mean, I'm semi-confident the defensive line can turn it up. But I want to see Kenyatta and Curry and those guys do it for an entire season. Especially with the way that Jack and JTT kicked it up in the playoffs last year, and they took it to a whole new level. Like we said, like a lot of players on the team just took it to a whole new level in that playoff run. So, but I'm confident. I come in with a fair amount of confidence. The first game of the year, I got some friends going to the first game of the year. By the way, there were buddies of mine that had tickets 20 years ago. Remember that game 20 years ago? That was incredible. The Vince Young game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually was supposed to have tickets to that one, and friends ended up going. I ended up watching at a friend of mine's house. That was a tough one though, because that was a great game though.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything else on your mind tonight, Dave?
No, I'm looking forward to the start of the season, Chris.
Me too.
Yeah, I can't wait. I think this is a team that I'm hoping gets better and better towards the end of the season. Is maybe peaking towards the end of the year. Obviously peaking towards the last game in November. We get, go in and kick ass there and just carry that momentum into the playoffs. Because I'm with you, Chris. I think this is a wide open year to where if this team is hot going into the playoffs, I could see this team making another run.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for the call, Dave. Really appreciate it. You have a wonderful night. OH,
my friend.
Ohio. Go Bucks. All right, so that was the last caller in queue right now. We'll give it a minute, but for those of you who checked in late, we're going to run through my little math rant from earlier. And guys, this is a math rant about why Ohio State is going to win the Big Ten again this year. And I did steal this from the premise for this from a Michigan grad, so I have to acknowledge that. But it goes a little something like this in the 331. We will get to you in the chat here momentarily. To all the teams that think you got a shot at winning the Big Ten this season, let me just put your little dream to rest right now. Because there are only 3 teams with a legitimate shot at the Big Ten this season. And the favorite has to be the reigning, defending, undisputed national champions, the Ohio State Buckeyes. Now, people would like to say that all teams are created equal, but you look at Ohio State and you look at the rest of the Big Ten, and you can see that statement isn't true. See, normally if you go one-on-one with a team, you got a 50-50 chance of winning. But Buckeyes are not just any team. Buckeyes are a team of athletic freaks, and they are not normal. So Big Ten teams, you have a 25% chance at best of beating our Buckeyes. Now let's add some contenders into the mix. Because everybody's darling this year's Penn State. You add the Nittany Lions into the mix, and your chances of winning drastically go down. You see, in a typical 3-team race, you got a 33 and 1/3 chance of winning. But Ohio State, see, we've actually got a 66 and 2/3 chance of winning because James Franklin, who's 1-9 versus the Buckeyes, knows he can't beat the Buckeyes. He's not even going to try. So that brings us to Oregon. Now, Oregon, you take your 33 and 1/3 chance, minus the Buckeyes' original 25% chance, and you got an 8 1/3% chance of winning this conference in 2025. But then you take the 75% chance of winning that we got. If we were to go 1-on-1, and then add that to the 66 and 2/3% chance, and Ohio State has a 141 and 2/3% chance of winning the Big Ten this season. The numbers do not lie. And they spell disaster for any Buckeye opponents this season. Now, some of you may say, what about the team up north? They've beat Ohio State for 4 consecutive seasons. 13-10, baby. That's what they like to say. 13-10. Let me tell you about the team up north. They did beat Ohio State for 4 consecutive seasons. But remember, Michigan cheated 3 of those 4 seasons, meaning they would have lost 75% of those games to the Buckeyes without cheating. So if each team starts out with a 50% chance, and you take 75% chance and add that to our 50% chance, that gives the Buckeyes a 125% chance of beating the scum this season. And guys, any person who thinks otherwise has a 100% chance of being a complete idiot. The numbers don't lie. The Buckeyes are reasserting dominance, winning the conference this year. Phone lines are still open, 567-483-1999. Caller, go ahead.
You got something you want to save for me, Wildman? Because you know.
Save what?
You know, your prediction, man, about the scandal.
This is what I'm going to say. I admit it. The NCAA got it wrong. They did not institute the policy that was required. They screwed up 100%. They came out and said this should have received a bowl ban. They came out and admitted there should have been vacated victories, but they chose not to do it. The NCAA screwed up. So I will say this. You were correct in your prediction of what the NCAA would do. And I 100% say they screwed it up completely.
Yeah, I gotta give I'll say this, dude.
Michigan fans should feel very lucky.
I'll say this, dude. I'll give Intrinsic some credit because he actually was right, believe it or not, with the bowl ban, postseason ban. Apparently, we were supposed to get a postseason ban.
Yes.
But the NCAA said literally in the documents that because there was no, because of what we violated, we were supposed to get a bowl ban, but because it will affect, future players and stuff, and they did say that if Harbaugh and Stallions was still there, we would have gotten a bowl ban.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
Not a few months ago, they gave Akron a bowl ban for something that happened at the same time.
Yeah, I was actually, I knew I felt like there was going to be no, vacated victories, bowl ban, and national title the whole time. But there was part of me that said, man, NCAA could really hit them hard. But at the end of the day, I'm just happy, that this is over with, and I'm gonna not lie, man. I'm been one of the happy. I can't believe I'm saying
Here's
this,
the
dude,
thing,
but I'm
though.
one of the happiest I've ever been.
It may not be over,
You know,
Burks, because Michigan is saying they went
dude,
to
Wildman,
appeal,
it's over.
but they're saying
Yes,
they
I
went to
know they went
appeal.
to appeal.
If
They
they
did. No, they
appeal,
did because yeah.
if they appeal,
Yeah.
you do realize that the NCAA can alter their decision, correct?
Yes, but they will alter it more by money and stuff. I feel.
They
I know what you're
they
saying,
they
dude, but
actually
it's really unlikely.
it
It's
is.
really unlikely with the vacated.
Here's the thing, though, and this is why I have a problem. Michigan should have just said thank you and moved on. Because, and I actually talked to an attorney who told me this. If they reopen that, the NCAA could push back with the sanctions that should have properly been imposed. Michigan should
Yeah,
suck it up and move on. Because I'll tell you what, they got off
dude,
easy.
yeah. Yeah, no, that's literally what I want Michigan to do as well. But money, they want their money still, So I know they did an appeal, and we'll see. But I'm gonna let you know right now, dude. It's really unlikely
And
that
I don't even care at this point. That's the thing. I don't even
yeah,
care.
you're just that pissed. Yeah, I can get it, dude. Because and man, you know what? I'm really happy is like how both two. Let's just say this, man. What's making me laugh a lot is how your fan base has been really divided now after that this Michigan cheating scandal to the point that I can't just help. I just keep laughing, man, because like you guys are just divided. Some of your fan base over this. You got one part of the fan base channel. There's one channel that's called Fake Buckeyes, and there's one that calls each other this the cult, and they just fight. And I just, dude, I can't. I'm dying right now, dude. It just I'm just laughing. It's just so funny. But like I was saying, man, yeah, you guys, it's over now, and you guys should just be united at this point. But that's not happening anytime soon. So
Well, I mean, just to keep it 100% real, we stay out of that mess. We don't want anything to do with that mess.
yeah,
I like to think that we have a higher class of fan on here, someone who tends to be a little more respectful, and we do have some that share the room with some of the others.
yeah,
But this is what I'm going to say. I have never seen anybody in our chat who has been offensive or attacked another Ohio State fan or another Ohio State show. I've seen them be critical, but I've never seen them attack. And that's what I think makes our fan base special.
yeah, and no, and I gotta give, I couldn't call in on Friday. I wanted to, but I respect Eric of what he did in the beginning of the show, saying that we're not affiliated because you don't understand, dude. I go on many Michigan channels and stuff, and even some Ohio State. I and they've said some stuff that I have defended, believe it or not, on your channel, defended your channel by saying that you're affiliated with this just because you have some audience that watches that channel doesn't mean you guys are affiliated with it. And so that's why, you guys do have the best Ohio State channel, in my opinion. Just because, your community is so unique. So I just wanted to say
Well,
that. And it's great that Eric, mentioned that in the beginning. So,
some people called us out by name and accused us of being associated with another channel. And this is the thing. I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know the people on either of those channels personally. I mean,
Uh-huh.
I kind of know a couple of the co-hosts, but
Yeah.
I don't know anybody real well personally. I'm not going to throw stones at somebody I don't know. I'm not going to cast
Mm-hmm.
aspersions or say things and or accuse people of being dishonest.
Yeah.
But, when they kind of attacked us, let's just say I'm very glad that Eric came out and took the lead on that, because I could have been a little more outspoken and vocal. And given the mood I was in that night, it probably would not have been a positive situation.
Yeah.
I'm with Eric. I just wish everybody could just move past all this and get back to what unites us all, and that's Buckeye football, And if people, some people are just intent on being miserable, and they want to try to make other people miserable with them. And if that's what you want to do, that's fine. But we have no place for that here.
Yeah. I just give advice that, just take your L and move on and get ready for the season, because we have one of the best week ones I've ever, in college football ever. You got Texas and Ohio State. You got LSU, Clemson. You got Miami, Notre Dame, man. Like, week one is amazing. And, I obviously my Michigan, but listen,
And who are they playing again? Who are they playing again? The Little Sisters of the Poor?
New Mexico.
Same thing.
Week 2, man, Michigan, Oklahoma. That's like the only good game on. So
Oklahoma hasn't been good since Bob Stoops, man. And I still think they beat Michigan.
No, I haven't. Oh yeah, and I need to give you my final preseason prediction. So I got for Michigan, Ohio State. So I got Ohio State 10-2. I feel that they're gonna, they're gonna lose to, Texas, and then either lose to either Michigan or what's the another team?
Illinois.
I think they're gonna beat Penn State, but Illinois, yes, Illinois, and then I got Michigan. I got Michigan I changed it from 9-3. What I'm hearing about the defense, man, being like a top 5 to top 3 defense, and I'm not lying. I got them at 10-2, dude. I feel like we're gonna beat Oklahoma. We're gonna lose to USC, and we will lose to Ohio State, or either from Ohio State we could get upset by a team like Washington. We'll see, but at the end of the day, I have them at 10-2. So both teams will be 10-2 at the end.
You guys are losing to Ohio State and Sparty this year, so don't worry about it.
No, dude. Hey, man, this Sparty, man, that you're being too nice to Intrinsic and Spiro. I feel that's why you feel you're gonna choose Sparty to beat us. I don't see Sparty.
No, I just feel like I feel like it's a gut feeling. There's honestly no reason for this at all. That I believe they should win. I believe by all rights Michigan should win that game. But I'm putting money on Michigan State, because this is the same gut feeling I had the year of the botched punt.
Yeah.
So this is strictly the gut feeling thing. And hey, I do not encourage anyone to go out and make a bet based on my gut. But it's just gut feeling.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. And listen, I respect any prediction of yours, honestly. I don't get really mad. I'm not the type of person that I'm going to call a person a complete
But I will
clown
say
if
this.
they make this. Yeah.
You guys do have some challenging games. If your offensive line is not up to task, Oklahoma will beat Michigan if the offensive line is not up to task, because they have a very good defensive line.
Oh, no. They have one of the best D-lines in the top. They have a top 10, top 5, maybe even D-line. So I agree. If our O-line is not good, it's a hard game.
You always have to wonder, is this the year that Nebraska is finally going to break through? Now, they are the first, and this is the other thing. They would be your second kind of tough game. You would be there first. Yeah. They're just fine tuning. They got Cincinnati, Akron, and Houston Christian all at home. So they're going to be a well rested team. You have to imagine going into that game. What
Yeah.
happens in Oklahoma
No.
could definitely have an impact. Now, I'm not saying they will lose that game. I'm just saying the way the schedule falls, there's some games that could be tricky for Michigan. You mentioned USC. That's one that could be tricky. I don't think that Washington comes to Ann Arbor and beats Michigan. I know you mentioned that's possible. I don't think they've got enough to come into Ann Arbor and beat Michigan. Purdue,
Yeah.
obviously, Michigan should wipe the mat with Purdue. Same thing with Northwestern and Maryland. They should, with, as I said, with Michigan State. But for some reason, my gut, and that's a pretty ample gut, I'm telling you. You know, I'm putting my money on Sparty. And then I really feel like Ryan Day has turned the corner and finally gets his Michigan win back. But, you know, I think it's going to be a good season. Yeah. I actually have Michigan at 8-4, but I fully admit one of those is a kind of a trash pick win with Michigan State. And the other is I think Nebraska finally gets over the hump.
So wait, you changed your prediction from 7-5 to 8-4?
Wait a minute, do I have 5? I might have 5. You may be right. 1, 2.
Yeah,
3.
okay.
I do still have 5.
Like,
I do still have 5.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I got USC. I just pulled up my prediction sheet. Yeah. So yeah, I'm still at 7-5. Yeah, you know, I'm not sold on Underwood yet. I think there's a lot of moving pieces that you guys have. I'm not sold on your receiving core more so than Underwood.
Oh, of course. Yeah, that's the worst part of that's the weakest part of the team is the receiving. So
I think that's a challenge. I think you lost a lot when you lost Loveland last year. I think he was a very integral part, a very underrated blocker, by the way. He was a pretty good blocker as well. That's a lot to fill. So for me, I feel like look out in 26 that they could be a team that comes out and is maybe a little bit more of a challenge. I don't see this year as being Michigan's year. But you know, I also look and I've caught a lot of hell from Indiana fans because I've picked for them to fall back. Okay. Oh boy, here we go again. Yeah. Did you catch that the Penn State in the chat?
Yeah, Penn State bot.
Here's my thing with Penn State. Everybody is so high on Drew Aller. I can't get there. I can't get there with Drew Aller.
No, I agree. I agree.
First of all,
Penn State.
You know, he's a guy who completes 87% of his passes inside of 10 yards. After that, he struggles to hit 50% at any range outside of that. I think he might hit 55%, 10 to 19 yards. That's still unacceptable. That's a quarterback's bread and butter is 10 to 19 yards. His deep ball, 45% doesn't look terrible. It's not good. Doesn't look terrible. But he's only 9 of 20 on deep passes last year. Their wide receiver room, you know, you talked about your struggles. Oh my God, their wide receiver room, they transported in a bunch of receivers and they're still no better than they were before. Maybe a slight upgrade. You lose Abdul Carter, who's one of the best defensive players in there. This guy thinks that 1-9 James Franklin is going to beat Ryan Day, and that's not even feasible. This guy couldn't beat his way out of a wet paper bag. So he's got Penn State at 12-0. Not going to happen. I'm going to tell you right now. Penn State takes a minimum of 2 losses this year. Minimum. And honestly, I could see potential. I could see potential for 3.
I agree, dude.
You've got Oregon at 11-1. Okay. I've got Oregon at 10-2. I think that they're there. but I could see 11-1. If they beat Penn State, they're 11-1. Nebraska at 10-2. Now, this is what I was just talking about with you, Burks. He's got Penn State Nebraska at 10-2. Now, I'm going to tell you, I also have Nebraska. I have Nebraska 9-3. I'm sorry, Nebraska 9-3. He's got Ohio State at 9-3. Clearly, this guy enjoyed an alcoholic beverage before he came on the air. Iowa at 9-3. I think that's fair. That's where I have them. I actually have them undefeated all the way into their second bye, and then have them losing 3 of the last 4 games. Michigan 9-3. Possible. I got them at 7-5. But I could see it. I could see a way to. I could see the way to 9-3, like I said. So outside, I want to know what about the Penn State fan base makes them think that James Franklin is going to get over the hump against Ryan Day. I also want to know what makes them think that Drew Aller is a first-round draft pick. The kid is the most overrated player in college football. I don't know. I don't get it. Anything else on your mind tonight, Burks?
No, man. That was pretty much it. Just excited for next week. This week, I'm probably not going to watch any college. Yeah, I'm not watching college football, honestly, this week. It's just all trash games. I don't watch week 0 unless there's good games. So, yeah, just excited for next week. Ohio State, Texas will be a game of a lifetime, I'm not going to lie. As a Michigan fan, I don't really watch Ohio State games much, but I will watch games that if they're playing like a ranked team, I'll watch it.
Where there's national implications.
Yeah. Yeah, I will not watch Ohio State game that, like, let's say they play Akron or Grambling State. Hell no, I've never done that. So, but no, it's going to be a great season, and I'm just excited. And cheating scandal, man, it's gone now, done basically. So just glad that everyone can move on. Ohio State fans don't have to be stressed anymore, and Michigan fans as well. So, yeah, and that's basically all I got to say, So.
Burks, great to hear from you tonight, man. For those of you who don't know, we will be switching our Thursday night call-in show. Primarily, Eric will be covering Monday nights moving forward. Starting next Monday. So this will probably be my last Monday night show. Eric will probably be, for a while, Eric's going to be covering Monday night shows. I will be moving to a Saturday morning pregame call-in. And guys, we will talk Ohio State. We'll talk football around the country for some segments if you like. I'm absolutely 100% on with that because, for the love of God, I can't stand College Game Day. And now that Portnoy is on Fox, there's no good option left. So come and visit me 10 to 12 every Saturday morning for our call-in pregame show. All right, Burks, thanks for the call, brother. We'll talk to you next week. You have a great night.
Yeah, take care, my man. Yeah, you too, man. Take care.
OH!
No, I'm good.
Okay. Have a good night, man. Well, since he wouldn't give it to me, I'll have to finish it. OHIO. Go Bucks. And Michigan still sucks. All right, guys, that's going to do it for us for tonight, I think. We're going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. Thanks to all the callers. Had a great bank of calls tonight. And again, just that programming update. Eric will be picking up Monday nights starting next week. I will be flying over to the Saturday morning show, pregame show, which is going to lead us in to the Buckeye game day call with Dr. Corey. So, and he'll have guests on with him as well. So until next time, good night. God bless. Go Bucks.